Perception nomad. We all experience moments of great doubts in our life journey. What if I changed jobs? What if I dropped everything to travel the world? What if I finally started working on that project that's been on my mind for months? What if I truly listened to myself? What would change? It is in these crucial moments that we must ask ourselves, who have I become and who do I want to be? The first time I asked myself this question, I was going through a period of uncertainty. I was in my second year of university, but I couldn't find my path. Since middle school, and especially since 6th grade, people had been asking me what job I wanted to do in the future. The first time I was asked, I had no idea what to say. I remember sitting in class, having to type a job title into a computer to see its description. That's when I thought a job that allowed me to travel would be ideal. Spending several months in different countries rather than just a few days. Beyond that, everything was unclear. When I gave this answer, the teacher simply told me to type in any job at random if I didn't know. I wasn't prepared for that. I had expected guidance, someone to help me explore travel-related careers or give me more concrete ideas. Very quickly, I realized that I needed to give clear answers. I started to notice that the satisfaction I felt didn't necessarily come from the career I was considering, but rather from how others reacted to my responses, from their admiration. Over the years, I cycled through different career ideas: pediatrician, horticulturist, jeweler, architect. But each time, I was struck by an irrational fear of committing to just one profession for my entire life. Then, at the end of middle school, I heard a phrase that reassured me. People don't have just one career for their whole life anymore. It brought me some relief, but only partially. It was in that moment, during my second year of university, lost in complete confusion, that I decided to stop asking myself what job I wanted to do and instead focus on who I wanted to become. This question didn't require an immediate answer, but rather a deep introspection about the person I wished to be, the impact I wanted to leave, and the life I wanted to live. Where did I want to live, and how? This simple question led to a breakthrough. It was time to truly discover myself. For the first time, I decided to stop putting excessive pressure on myself to define the perfect career. I realized that it is essential to ask who we want to become, without being trapped in the pursuit of a social status or a label imposed by society. Too often, we define ourselves by what we do or by what others expect from us, rather than by who we truly are. The pressure to conform to a norm or not meet external expectations can distance us from our true essence. Learning to listen to ourselves and identify our own values and aspirations is how we take back control of our lives. It means choosing a path that reflects what we want to embody, rather than the one society expects us to follow. This process leads us to true wealth, becoming the person who deeply resonates with our being. Happiness does not simply lie in what we own or do, but in the alignment between our identity and our personal journey. Isn't the foundation of happiness found in the satisfaction of seeing ourselves become the person we aspire to be? Oprah Winfrey once said, "Create the highest, greatest vision possible for your life because you become what you believe." This reminds us that our vision of who we want to become is not just an abstraction ambition, but, as I mentioned earlier, something that actively shapes our choices. actions, and beliefs. The clearer and higher our vision, the more it guides our personal transformation. In other words, believing in the person we want to become is the first step toward embodying that version of ourselves. Our becoming is closely tied to what we choose to believe about ourselves. When you ask yourself who you want to become, it's like choosing the seeds you want to plant in your inner garden. Each seed represents a choice, a dream, an aspiration, a quality you want to cultivate. Knowing who you want to become is about envisioning this garden in all its splendor and carefully selecting the plants that will thrive there. Taking care of these seeds, watering them, exposing them to sunlight, protecting their fragile sprouts, are the daily decisions you make to nurture them. The clearer your vision of the garden, the easier it is to know which seeds to water, which weeds to remove, and how to guide the branches so they grow in the right direction. Each choice you make acts like water or sunlight, helping these seeds take root and flourish, gradually transforming your inner garden into the harmonious space you've always envisioned. To nourish this garden, it's essential to create a supportive environment. Finding mentors, surrounding yourself with kind-hearted people, reading inspiring books, or taking time alone to re-centralize yourself are key elements. Self-compassion is crucial. We often strive for perfection, but embracing our imperfections is what truly allows us to grow. The path to becoming who we wish to be is not always linear. The fear of failure, judgment, or the unknown is natural, but it should not paralyze us. Failure teaches others' judgment are often reflections of their own fears and insecurities rather than our own, and the unknown frequently leads to unexpected discoveries. What if, instead of fearing these obstacles, we saw them as essential steps toward becoming the person we are meant to be? The answer to the question, "Who am I?" will evolve throughout life. The journey to becoming who you wish to be is in itself the most beautiful adventure you will embark on. And this journey begins today with a simple question: who do you want to become?